Growing up, I experienced some of the probably most terrifying paranormal experiences for about 8 years of my life. In the spirit of spooky season, I've decided to start talking about them. So there's a hotel, and this is off of the coast of Vancouver, on an island called Vancouver Island. I believe I was like 3 or 4. I don't have the best memory of this. It was actually my mom that told me this. The name of this hotel was called the Qualicum Heritage Inn. I had to look it up because it actually closed down. It was known in the area as being a really, really haunted, creepy, eerie place. We're not a type of family that if we hear something is haunted, we're not gonna run towards the haunt. So my mom didn't know that this place was so haunted when she booked it. She just saw that it was on for a deal. Qualicum Beach is also a really remote place, like in the world. Not a lot of people know about it. We went there to visit my tio and tia who had just bought a farm up there. My mom had this hotel room booked for 2 nights. Since the kids were staying in our own separate room, my mom had brought this little nightlight for us that we always used to sleep with. She told me that the room only had like 3 outlets. And the one outlet that was next to the bed, when she plugged the nightlight in, it wouldn't turn on. So she just assumed like the outlet was broken or the nightlight was broken. The following morning when my mom woke us up, she saw that the nightlight that had previously not worked was on. While she was getting me and my sister out of bed, the nightlight behind her had turned back off. She was worried that there was going to be an electric problem in the walls, and she didn't want me and my sister sleeping in a room with like electric issues in case we touched the outlet and then got electrocuted or whatever. She went down to the front desk. She told the lady that the outlet next to my bed in particular had been flickering on and off. The lady at the front desk told her that that outlet had never worked and there was never any power in that wall, and it had been probably about 5 years that there wasn't power in the wall. My mom went back to the room and I started telling her about this amazing dream that I had. Apparently that night I had a really, really vivid dream that I remembered everything about, every detail. I told her that my dream was playing with a little boy and we were running up and down the hallway and running all through the hotel. I said that it was the best dream ever, it was the most amazing dream of my life, and this little boy was so amazing and we're best friends. My mom went downstairs to tell the lady that we were going to be checking out early. She said that there was a group of about 4 or 5 people from different rooms who looked really agitated. She looked at my mom and said, "Anybody who is complaining about the noise complaint of children running up and down the hallways from last night, we can't do anything about it, but we can give you a free breakfast coupon for tomorrow morning." There was like this middle-aged man that started screaming and said, "We were up until 4 in the morning. All we could hear was children laughing. There was a boy crying outside of our room. And every time I opened the door, no one was there. This is ridiculous." At that point, my parents were done. My mom was done. We packed our things. We left within the hour. So I had this little stuffed dog named Puddles. I had left Puddles at the hotel. We didn't realize that I left Puddles at the hotel until we had already got back to our house, which was a plane flight away. A couple weeks goes by because my mom was hoping that I would just get over it. I didn't. My mom goes to call the hotel, and it's an automated answering machine. The hotel had officially closed its doors forever only 2 weeks after we had visited there. I found this article here. There was hundreds of complaints of people saying that they were hearing children laughing. There was a military man. It was just really, really creepy. Staff had quit. In 2008, the Heritage Inn closed its doors and has remained boarded up by developers ever since. At the time, there had been a big news article that was released about it. This wasn't just some little cute little novelty hotel where it's like, oh, like, it's haunted, like you might see a face. People on the 4th floor had heard women crying, moaning, and chanting. In room 453, the furniture was said to have been moving on its own, while beds looked like they had already been slept in. Blankets were frequently being pulled off of people when they were sleeping in the room. There was even a report of a light that had never worked in the hotel that somebody saw turned on and off by itself, and then the TV started turning on and off by itself. Guests were being physically assaulted and even tormented. People complained that there was a person running straight ahead towards them in the hallway and somebody had to move to get out of the way. I am so 100% certain that the thing that followed me for so long in my childhood came from that hotel. As disturbing as that tiny little story was, unfortunately, that is only the premise. My dad missed my tio and tia and ended up moving to that same area. And I spent the rest of my childhood life and teenage life living right near Qualicum Beach Heritage Inn. The first week that we moved in is when things started happening again for me. This story would be 5 hours long if I put everything in one video, so I'm just gonna do it in little sections. Go to part 2. Love y'all!